Hey everyone, welcome back to another Fortnite Save the World video. Today, I will show you the new build for Lava Amplifier. One of the best if not the best amplifiers in Twine Peaks. And for me, it's the easiest amplifier in the whole base. For a lot of people as well, not just me. For lots of reasons. Let me give you a few examples. 1. Very easy to build and test, because of the terrain around it. The husk have a straight path to the amplifier, and it's long enough to build the main tunnel. And with the terrain update, even better. Now we can add more traps to the same path more than before. 2. Since the husk have a straight path to the amplifier, no need to build a lot of block-offs to force the husk to follow a far path. Which saves a lot of structures. 3. Unlike the other amplifier, when every few updates you may need to edit or change some parts of the build, for Lava Amplifier, mostly you won't need to change anything. Like if you remember the old build. For 2 years, I added only one edit for it. And most of it was just the loop bridge, and that's it. That's why this build will look a bit similar to the old build, since the path the husk will follow is the same. But it's cheaper. By the way, changing the loop bridge helps a lot in general if you have any smashers, lobbers, propanes or mini boss issues with any of your amplifiers, not just Lava Amplifier. I explained all the question you might think of about Twine Peaks endurance in this video. So, if you got any questions like traps, damage ratios, perks, etc., this video will help a lot. I recommend watching it when you have time. A lot of reasons too why this amplifier is one of the best, but these 3 were the most important. And to avoid any confusion, let's call this build 2025 build 1. As usual, any needed information, any needed edits and updates, or even if there is a new version of the build, all of that will be in the description. So, make sure to check it before building anything. And if you want to see how the build works before building it, check the full gameplay video here. Now everything is ready, I will explain any needed information with the build to make it easier to understand, so let's start with the build. But before we start, don't forget to use code Larsis in the item shop and Epic Games Store if you want to support me. As always, big thanks for all the channel members, super chat on the stream, everyone uses my creator code, and all the support, really appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get started. The main path will be through here, straight to the amp. And there are 2 other paths, but only flingers and lobbers may use to reach a spot which allows them to target the amplifier. This one is already blocked with Valley Amplifier block-offs. If you are using a different build, no problem, all you need is just a few block-offs as you see here. The other path is through this tunnel. Only flingers and lobbers will use it, trying to reach the amplifier. So, we need just few traps here. Some plasters, pitchers and zappers too, but they are just trying to reach you, since the AFK spot we will use is right here. Here's how to build it. Very important to use to avoid any issues during your run. You don't want to stand in the wrong spot and trigger the husk to follow a different path. Maybe smashers sometimes, I will explain this point with the loop bridge. Now let's start with the main tunnel. There's a point I will explain about the type of this tunnel I will use for this amplifier. But after building it, to make it easier to understand, I saw a few comments about it in the last build video for this amplifier. Two tiles tunnel here is more than enough. But in a very rare case, a flinger may pass through if a lot of them spawned. Or if there are a lot of smashers, pitchers or zappers inside the tunnel with the flingers. One saw it only once in like a year. That's why I said it's very rare. But just in case I made this tunnel 4 tiles, not just 2 like the old build. You can skip that and make only 2 of course. I just added it just in case. Husk and smashers behavior changes a lot. Better to be safe. Plus if the smashers started to follow this path only like I will explain in a moment, the 4 tiles path may be needed to make sure no flingers will pass through. Now for the loop bridge. Here's how it works. Right now, smashers don't climb the loop bridge to reach the upper part of the amplifier like the rest of the amplifiers. Only the mini-bosses for this amplifier. The smashers will go down here and charge on the amplifier then fall into the lava. That has been the case for Lava Amplifier for years now. But just in case, I added these walls for wall lights traps. And for the thing I mentioned for the loop bridge and this tunnel here. Around a year ago, after an update to the game, smashers started to go through this tunnel only to reach the amplifier, ignoring the main tunnel completely. Which was very good in my opinion. Helps a lot to save the main tunnel durability. Plus them passing through this path only, they don't have any chance to cause any issues to the main tunnel. But after a few months, they went back to follow the main tunnel again. It's not a problem. But when they used to use this path, sometimes 4 or 6 smashers go through it at the same time. We all know that late waves like 26 and 28 have a lot of smashers. Having a lot of smashers inside this small tunnel with flingers, zappers, pitchers, lobbers, plasters, is not the best. There was a chance that a flinger or lobber may pass through without getting eliminated by the traps. If the smashers pass through, it's okay. But if a flinger or a lobber did without getting eliminated by the traps, that will cause issues. That's why I made it 4 tiles instead of 2. But again, only 2 should be enough right now. I'm just explaining every possible situation. I tried to make this build cheap as much as possible. I used only the needed block-offs, and I tested them for months now without any issues. But for any reason, if you needed any extra block-offs here, you can add some here. Like a layer or 2. Maybe after random update smashers started trying to take a shortcut through the block-offs. Or you needed few extra block-offs to force the husk to follow the main path. Same thing here. You can add block-offs easily in general if needed. Right now, you don't need any extra, everything works very well. I'm just explaining everything. We all know how Twine peaks can get buggy sometimes, and it takes a long time to get fixed. Now for the traps and perks. Now let's add the traps. I use double durability for the spawn cover, so the traps can last longer. And reload for the main tunnel, to knock the husk out faster. Make sure of the direction of the drop traps. To push the husk outside the tunnel, not in. You can remove these freeze traps or the ramps to save structure, or replace them with floor spikes. I just used freeze traps with lots of sound walls because of propanes. This amplifier gets more propanes than the rest. Here you can use tar pits or floor spikes, depends on your trap's durability ratio. You can add some extra anti-air traps, just in case. That should cover everything. And if I forgot anything or if the build needed any future updates, I will add them in the description. And that's it for this video. Don't forget to use code Larsis in the item shop if you want to support me, helps me a lot. Big thanks for all the channel members, all the support on the streams, and everyone uses my creator code, really appreciate your support. Like, subscribe if you are enjoying the content, so YouTube algorithm will suggest the video for more people. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, see you in the next one.